Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to cover section 4.2, which is rounding decimal. We're going to round at several different spots. As you can see on the screen, we're going to start with rounding to the nearest tenth, and then the next one we're going to round to the nearest hundred. So it's understanding what our spots are. So if you can recall back in section 4.1, which was talking about the intro to decimals, and the first part was talking about the placement of the decimals. A tenth is in the 0.1, so that means it's a number right after the decimal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and underline every one of these, which is right behind the decimal. Okay, so next we have to tell ourselves is, does it round up or stay the same? A misconception is it rounds up or rounds down. No, it rounds up or it stays the same. So, what I have to do is I have to look at the number behind it. If the number behind it is a 5 or greater, it rounds up. If it's 4 or less, it stays the same. So if we look at our first one, this right here is a 9, so that 9 would cause that 7 to round up. And the second one, that 3 would make that 8 stay the same. The 1 right here would make that 9 stay the same. And finally, that 7 would cause that 9 to be a 0 now, which then basically that's a 10, so I would carry this and make that a 6. So that should be 136.0 now. Okay, now this is the key to this is understanding the placement. Okay, so our next set is going to round to the nearest 100, which is the 100 spot. So I'm going to just go ahead and I want to underline each of the 100 spot. So what does the first one do? Well, the 7 makes that 1 go to a 2. Now everything behind it turns into a 0. I'm just crossing it out. Take a look at this 5. The 5 would make that 3 a 4, and then this would be 0, 0. So the 3 would go to a 400. Notice it's 100, so it's 200 and 400. Take a look at this 7. You look behind it, and it's a 9. 9 would make that 7 go to an 8, and everything behind it is a 0. So that 1,700 or 1,700 would turn into 1,800. And finally, that 3 would cause that 5 to stay the same, so right behind it is 0. Okay, what about the nearest 1,000? Okay, so the key to this is understanding where the 1,000 spot is. Well, that 7 is greater than 5, so that would make this one right off the bat 1,000. Now what about, here's the 1,000 spot and here's the 1,000 spot. So what does that 5 in the second problem make that 3 do? It goes to a 4, and then it's 4,000. This 9 makes that 9 go up to a 10, and everything else turns to a 0, so that turns into 10,000. And finally, you're going to be asked to the nearest cent. Now, if you notice on gas stations, like it may say $1.81 So they are rounded to the nearest cent. So in this one, what you do is the cent is the penny. So the 8 is the penny. The 9 is the penny. So what happens? Well, the first one, if you look at that 9, it makes that 8 go into $17.09. But now the second one, that 2, makes that 9 stay the same. So it's $5.19. So that gives you a little, some problems dealing with rounding decimals to different places. So my next section I want to talk about is adding and subtracting decimals. Thank you for listening.